So today I'll be talking about all the entanglements happening in the Big Brother house.
And I got into an entanglement with August. An entanglement with August. Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August.
We started the season falling in love with certain people and their seeming relationships in the house. But now it's like all of them have made it their life's mission in the house to get into relationships and get booed up. Sometimes I turn on the TV and I'm confused on if I'm watching Big Brother or Ultimate Love 2.0. I personally feel that Big Brother should have named this season Big Brother Looking for Love instead of Big Brother Lockdown, I swear.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Cruise. My name is Ashani and I'll be cruising you through the latest Big Brother Bbnaija Season 5 lockdown gist.
So back to the entanglement gist. First up, we have Kiddwaya, Erica, and Laycon entanglement. We all know that Laycon and Erica have been friends from the beginning, and we were already feeling their friendship and vibes. They connected on an intellectual level, but we never saw it as anything other than it was a friendship. Later on, Erica and Kiddwaya started talking, and everybody could see the attraction between them because it was very obvious that they were, attracted to each other. So I think when Laycon started to see or notice that Kiddwaya and Erica was getting a bit too close, he decided to tell her that he liked her also. And after days of talking and trying to spend private moments with her, he eventually told her that he liked her. But she said that she was only attracted to him mentally, but attracted to Kiddwaya physically. I don't know if that was some kind of green light for Laycon, but the nigga will not just back down, even though Erica and Kid were spending more and more times together. Even all his friends were, trying to tell Laycon to free her and just, since it was obvious that she and Kiddwaya have something going. Even Biggie himself in his diary session with Laycon.
So I am attracted to a housemate. I told her about it on Sunday.
Told Laycon to focus his focus elsewhere. If his current focus he didn't want to be focused on, but the guy shall agree. Like but you have to give it to him. He's persistent and very confident in what he wants. There was even a night that Laycon, in a conversation with Prince, Trikytee, and Brighto, said that he found Kiddwaya very irritating and rude because he would just come up to Erica during their conversations and give Erica a kiss on the neck, or just walk up to them and disrupt their conversations just to give her food or ice cream or something. Kiddwaya, on the other hand, seems really unbothered about the whole thing, but he always seems to, kiss Erica a lot and flirt with her whenever Laycon is around, but not intentionally though. Fast forward to Thursday night after the task presentation, Kid and Erica were chilling with other housemates in the garden, and that was how Erica and Kiddwaya started kissing. Passionate kiss, the type that will make you rethink your destiny if you aren't in a relationship. That was how Laycon left the group chat. So he stood up and left the garden and went to cry gingerly on his bed. I kind of felt for him, but hey, the girl has clearly chosen who she wanted, and he should just let her go. Anyway, Laycon stayed in his bed sulking all through, all the while until Praise and some other guys came to talk to him. But he was still complaining bitterly about how he likes Erica and whatnot. Wow, heartbreak is not easy. Erica, on the other hand, told V and tolanibaj when they grilled her about it after Laycon's reaction. She said she is attracted to Kiddwaya and that's what she wants. Even though there's a mental connection with Laycon, she would always choose physical attraction. Well, in my own opinion, I think she was just letting Laycon down easy with all this mental connection story or whatnot. Next up is the Nengi, Ozo, and Dorathy entanglement. We all know that from day one, Ozo, and Dorothy's friendship has been something that's been some kind of mystery to all of us. The way Ozo likes Dorothy, and even if you ask him, he will say that Dorothy is his most favorite person in the house, but and his best friend and all that. And sometimes I wonder to myself if I have to be this Ozo's friend, because the way he takes this friendship thing, like, is really, really crazy. So
okay, Ozo and Dorothy started off being friends, and maybe later on, she started catching feelings because of the way Ozo, the kind of importance that Ozo puts on his friendship with her. He even, made her the deputy head of house. After the hard decision he had to make between her and Nengi, he made her the head of house, and he's always having her back in that house, no matter what. Everybody knows that number one person for Ozo in the house is Dorothy, but he doesn't see Dorothy as anything other than just a friend. Dorothy, on the other hand, I don't know, maybe she has started catching feelings for Ozo, because every time she sees Ozo and Nengi, she's just always irritated or angry. She just doesn't want to see them in her vicinity at all. And also, on this hand, is always left in the middle. It's always in a fix on whether to pursue the person is in love with, or attracted to, or something, or to choose this person that he has called his best friend. If Dorothy should see Nengi and also talking, or spending time together, she will get angry. Then also we have to stand up and chase after Dorothy and go and beg her. Like, it's been just such a crazy triangle that I don't even understand. Thursday night, also after their task presentation, Big Brother gave Ozo the key to the fridge in the garden, so they could have alcohol and chill outside, just to celebrate them winning the wager. So I think Ozo wanted to wait until Nengi had finished cooking before he opened the fridge or something. That was how Dorothy changed it for him. She got so angry and walked away to the HOH room, and she was just there lamenting and angry, like, why should they wait for Nengi and blah blah blah.
Don't answer me. Obviously, you're waiting for her to finish, and I'm like, why would we wait for her?
Then also had to follow her and try to calm her down and console her. We could see him trying to hug her, that she should just apologizing. Like, the whole thing was just so unnecessary for me. If you ask me, I'll say sometimes I feel Dorothy is pushing this friendship that Ozo has for her to the limit, because she knows that Ozo really likes her. She's always being a bit aggressive on him, telling him that he's being too much of a mumu for Nengi. If Nengi tells him to jump, he would ask how high. And what I really don't understand is, because sometimes last week or 2 weeks ago, you could see that Nengi and Dorothy were actually becoming quite close, and we're all happy and praising her that, wow, that okay, the best friend and the spec are becoming friends and becoming close to each other. But that all changed this week. Dorothy cannot even just stand her at all. Nengi, on the other hand, seems kind of unbothered. Like, she knows the rift she's causing, but she's not just bothered. You can see her just doing her own thing, she's just living her best life in the house. But whenever Dorothy sees Nengi and Ozo, like, you can just see the anger on her face. Like, she just doesn't want to have any part of it. And I think that the strain of having to choose between the best friend and the babe you're attracted to is really straining a lot on Ozo. You can really tell. Sometimes it's so confused. It's just there like you're madman, not sure of what to do or what angle to go to. So that's the Nengi, Ozo and Dorathy entanglement. Next up is the Nengi, Ozo and Prince entanglement. So we all know that from the beginning, Ozo, Nengi was, she was always going towards Ozo, and we thought that, wow, these guys are going to make the perfect couple. Even the old housemates were trying to push them together, because everybody's thought that, okay, this is like the perfect couple. We can even remember in one of the conversations, that was before Ozo started talking to Nengi, and Nengi was always, trying to push herself to him wherever he was. And she had this conversation, or they had this conversation with other people on why Ozo hasn't asked Nengi out, and Ozo was like, he likes to take his time and have a conversation with someone before he pushes for that next step. But immediately Ozo started pursuing Nengi. Nengi just changed it. Like it's crazy. She just changed it and just focused on someone else, which was Prince and Kiddwaya. We could see her flirting with almost all the guys in the house. She would flirt with Kiddwaya today, flirt with Prince tomorrow. But Kiddwaya was kind of out of the picture because he was kind of distracted by Erica, so we just take him out of it. So Prince, she started flirting with Prince and started and spending more time with Prince, and it became a bit confusing for Ozo, and especially the nights the nights when they had their first truth or dare, and Prince was there to show his best sexual position with Nengi, and they did the whole thing, and Ozo was completely you could tell that he was angry, and since then he started acting some kind of way towards Nengi, and Nengi too was like, what is it, because of truth or dare you're acting so childish and blah blah blah. Then when there was a strain between Ozo and Nengi, Prince started shooting his own shots, and you could see that Nengi and Prince were hanging out a lot more at night. They would be cuddled up in the garden on the bed. It all became somewhat messy, I must say. On Wednesday, during their rehearsals for their task presentation, also had this crazy outburst at Prince. Like, it was kind of unnecessary and uncalled for. So they were having a rehearsal, and Prince walked out, maybe without taking permission. I think he went to the bathroom or something. That was how also just started screaming and shouting, like he just turned to the Hulk. I started screaming at Prince, how will he walk out of rehearsal without taking permission? And it was rude, it was this and it was that. Like, the gentle Ozo that we all knew just went from 0 to 100 within 5 seconds. Like, it was crazy. Come and see the way the whole housemates were. Like, they had never seen that side of Ozo before. So everybody was scared and like looking for a way to hide and all that. You could hear him telling Prince that you have to apologize to all the housemates, and Prince, I would say, he was really matured about the whole thing. He apologized to everybody and just kept his cool and went about his business and started, continued with the rehearsal. But the whole thing was strange, and everybody could tell that it wasn't about him working out from the rehearsal, but more about all the things he has been keeping on this Nengi situation between the three of them. So it's just becoming crazy because Nengi, in fact, that girl, she's one kind of seductress. Like, today you see her flirting, being around Ozo, making Ozo feel like she's the only one that she's interested in. 5 minutes later, she's all over, she's on Prince's laps, and they're all flirting, and like, it's just crazy. That triangle is one triangle that I would really love to see how it plays out. Like, both of them, both Prince and Ozo, they are like this. I would say that Nengi has their button in their hand. So that's another entanglement that we are really watching and waiting to see how it plays out. The next one is the Prince, tolanibaj, and Wathoni entanglement. This particular entanglement kind of just sneaked up on us. Yes, we all know Prince is a nice guy. He talks to all the girls, he helps them with their hair on Sundays, and he's just Prince just goes about his business, just trying to be as nice as possible to everybody. But it's like all the girls in the house have started catching feelings for Prince. Wathoni started shooting a shot. I think she started with Kiddwaya, but when Kiddwaya was obviously with Erica, she decided to go for her last card, in her own words, and started aiming for Prince. Tolanibaj, on the other hand, started showing interest in Prince also. She told Prince at Prince's birthday was on Sunday, and she had this conversation with Brighto. That was the day Brighto was dishing out advice, relationship advice to everybody. And after speaking with Brighto, she decided to talk to Prince about how she felt. And when she came to talk to Prince, Wathoni was also there, seated with Prince. So both of them were there sitting with Prince, telling Prince one after the other, after one person left, how they felt about him. It was just crazy. And if you recall, last week Tolanibaj and Wathoni were actually friends. They were always hanging out together, talking about, all the housemates, and, they were just always found together, gisting, and they seemed to be like the closest friends after Wathoni stopped being friends with Nengi. And before you knew it, this week, fast forward to this week, they just stopped talking. There was this apparent beef between them because of Prince. Tolani felt like Wathoni was her friend, and she knew that she was attracted to Prince, but she also started telling Prince on how she liked him. Like it's just all confusing for me. Like it's crazy. Anyway, fast forward to Thursday after the night presentation. It remained only Tolanibaj and Prince outside. Prince told Tolani they wanted to speak with her because I think Tolanibaj has started giving Prince some kind of attitude in the house, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And Tolani was like, well, she has decided to ignore him because he seems to be all over the place in the house. He seems to have so many admirers in the house, and she just didn't want to put herself in the situation, in the triangle that was happening. And Prince was there telling her like, no, that he was already interested in her and ready to, make some kind of relationship between them. But Tolani was like, no, that she was not interested anymore, and she's not interested in having bad vibes because he has so many girls in the house that are all fighting for his affection. That's Nengi, Wathoni, and herself. So, like the whole, this whole Tolanibaj, Wathoni, and Prince situation is just one that, in fact, right now I can't really clearly say that this is what is going on, but the main bottom line of the gist is that Wathoni is interested in Prince, Tolanibaj is interested in Prince, on the other hand is interested in Nengi is interested in Ozo, and Dorothy is interested in Ozo. So it's just so crazy and messy. And I think that when Prince realized that Nengi is being hot and cold, today she's with Ozo, tomorrow she's with him, next tomorrow she's trying to flirt with Kiddwaya, he just probably thought that, okay, he should leave her alone to do what she wants and go for the next best thing, which is Tolanibaj. And Tolanibaj is saying no, she's not having any of that. At least that's what she said for like 10 minutes into their conversation, saying she's over him, she doesn't want to be the second choice, and Prince is always, he's in the middle, and all these girls are chasing him, and she cannot have it because it makes her mad to see him talking with other girls and he's ignoring her, blah blah blah. That went on for like 10 minutes, and the next thing we saw was Tolanibaj sitting down on Prince's leg, and they were already talking. Like 10 minutes ago you were saying you were over him, and next thing you are sitting down on his lap. So I don't know, we'll have to wait for the next few days to see how this plays out, if this is going to be a new ship, a Prince badge or Tolani Prince ship or something. Let's see how it works out, because we can't really conclude from this nice conversation. We'll have to wait to see how Prince treats her in the next days, and to see what his reaction will be if Nengi comes back to talk or to flirt with him. So I think that will determine if Prince is really serious about Tolanibaj or whatnot. So I will continue to watch all these entanglements for you guys for the next few days, and I will be back to give you the full gist and tell you guys as it is hot. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you and bye.